Daily Devotionals with open hearts and open minds. First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado presents Hope and Coffee with Pastor Hugo Venegas.
Hi, this is Hugo Venegas. Happy Friday. Welcome back to our final Hope and Coffee of the week. Remember, I gave you homework yesterday, and you were supposed to visualize and ask the universe, God, the Holy Spirit, Jesus, your neighbor, whoever, what was Noah doing in the ark for a year? Now, the reason I ask that question is because whatever we visualize, whatever comes to our minds, normally is what will dictate reality. Reality is what we see. There are things that we see because we want to see them. Quantum physics says that reality is in the eyes of the beholder, that we create our own reality. So some of the things that we see may just be illusions that we create in our minds. And that's why it's important for us to associate with people who are positive, because if we're associating with people who are negative, then we can be negative. If we're associating with people who are violent, then we may have a tendency to be violent. And I know we want to get out of the ark. I know we want to get out of the ark. But why am I banking on staying in the ark? We know that the face of hope is patience, that we have to be patient. We want to run out and be impetuous and go out and get stuff done and be out of this. But imagine, who is in the ark? Noah's wife, his 3 sons, and their wives, and a bunch of animals. It would be very easy for those wives to get irritated with each other, for them to get irritated with the smell, for them to say, I need vitamin D. I need vitamin D. I haven't been exposed to vitamin D in so long. I mean, people can go crazy. And you heard me say this, that the index of domestic violence has gone up during the pandemic because people were locked in and they could not stand each other. Kids could not stand their parents. Parents could not stand their kids. And spouses and lovers were irritated with each other. And it is important to understand that what we put in our minds during times of challenge is what would allow us to determine how we go out once we're out of the ark. It's the thing that happens in prison. Do you realize in America that most of the people, a high percentage of the people who go out of prison come back into prison? Why? Because they were never liberated. And do you realize that you have people who are free and walk around like zombies, like cultural social zombies of a consumer society, and they're not free in their relationship with God. They're not free with themselves. They're not free in their relationships with each other. And this is very important, because I think what God was doing with Noah, and this is what I'm going to call patience cultivates godliness, that through patience, godliness is brewed into our hearts. Now, I call this practicing the Mandela Gandhi character. Do you remember that Mandela was thrown in prison for 27 years because of apartheid in South Africa? Gandhi was always persecuted, and these were 2 of the great historical figures of the 20th century. And if you read the biography of either of these men, I read Nelson Mandela's biography, and when he was in prison, he worked on his mind. He worked on his character. He dealt with his anger against the white people. He dealt with the injustices that he faced. He dealt with the injustices of the black people in South Africa. And he forgave. He was 27 years in prison. And when he came out, he was a free man and became the first black president in modern South Africa. And he liberated a society. And he could have come out resentful. He could have divided South Africa more, but he liberated South Africa when he got out. Do you know why? Because Nelson Mandela was free. He was free inside. And that's what God does. He wants us to be free inside so that when we go out, we can be liberators. You cannot liberate until you become liberated. And that's why Gandhi said, be the change that you want to see. Have the character that you want to see outside in the culture so that you can produce that. So what was Noah doing in the ark? I think he was developing a godly character. I think he was developing a conscience that is God-driven. And you're like, Pastor, how do you know that? Because when Mandela got out of prison, what was he about? Freedom. When Noah got out of the ark, what was the first thing that Noah did? That's your homework for the weekend. Because the first thing that Noah did when he got out of the ark, the first thing he did when he got out of the ark tells us a lot about what he was thinking while he was locked up with his son and his daughter-in-laws and all these animals for almost a year. For a full year, he was locked up. So, what was the first thing you did when you got out of the pandemic, when the restrictions were lifted? What you did first tells a lot about what you were thinking while locked up. This is Hugo Venegas. Have a marvelous weekend. God bless you. And I promise you on Monday, Noah will be out of the ark. Have a tremendous weekend. God bless you.
Thank you for joining us for our daily devotional, Hope and Coffee, with Pastor Hugo Venegas. If you enjoyed today's devotion, like or subscribe below. We also welcome you to join our family at First United Methodist Church in Pueblo, Colorado. You can visit our website at firstumcpueblo.org, and we hope you continue to have a blessed day. We'll see you tomorrow.